Hey,
Let's do it, Your Honor. It's gonna be a good day.
No, it really isn't. But you resolved it?
Almost.
I think so. Ms. Kaiser is now has a credit on her account. So
why aren't we resolved today?
Because dismissal, but I think there are just some issues that
because of the systemic problems that keep burdening your docket, burdening our time.
Other than you?
Me?
Anyway, if her account's at zero, what else needs to be done?
Because, Judge, as I told you before previously, there's a pattern or practice of problems. When you sign a COD, what happens is this entity doesn't change their ledger. And this is in 3 cases so far. They don't change their ledger and they keep billing late fees. And then they create all this title.
Are there late fees that are on this one?
Not because, well, when I stepped in, they took them off.
So they're off.
Now they're off.
So what are we doing now? Because you're not going to waste my time, counsel. What are we doing on this case now?
We have a counter complaint under.
Don't interrupt me.
I'm sorry.
Do not interrupt me. Her account's at zero. What else needs to be done?
May I speak?
Don't play with me.
Judge,
not play with me.
Your Honor, you
not play with me, counsel.
Your Honor,
that's my 3rd warning.
I understand.
What else needs to be done?
It's under the. I'll let my client speak, Judge, if you want to explain to him.
Hello, good morning. I never owed this money. I had proof I didn't owe this money. I told them I had proof. I went back and forth with them. They decided my proof wasn't proof, and then they tried to evict me. So I'm just trying to get it to where they can't do this to me again. So they are going to negotiate a way in order that they can't evict me again, even though I paid my rent.
And you dispute that, of course, Ms. Joe. Ms. Engine.
Your Honor,
Or don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what I thought.
That's fair. July 15th, 2025, 9 a.m. I just needed a simple explanation, counsel.
As this courtroom exchange comes to a pause, it's important to step back and look at what actually unfolded here, because on the surface, this might sound like a routine housing case, but underneath it, there's a much deeper issue about court efficiency, accountability, and the power imbalance between tenants and large property entities. From the very beginning, the judge makes one thing unmistakably clear: time matters. Court dockets are overloaded, and when a case is essentially resolved on paper, with the tenant's account sitting at a 0 balance, the judge expects finality, not delays. That frustration becomes the driving force behind the judge's sharp tone and repeated questioning. The core issue he keeps returning to is simple. If the balance is 0, why are we still here? The defense attorney attempts to explain that although the balance is technically cleared, there's a pattern of post-dismissal billing errors, late fees continuing to appear, ledgers not being updated, and tenants being dragged back into court over charges that shouldn't exist. From a legal standpoint, that concern isn't frivolous. Courts issue orders expecting compliance, and when companies repeatedly fail to update their records, it creates unnecessary litigation and stress for tenants. However, where the attorney runs into trouble is execution, not clarity. The judge is not asking for a history lesson or a systemic critique in that moment. He's asking for a clear procedural reason why the case cannot be dismissed today. That disconnect is where the tension escalates. When the attorney interrupts or circles back without directly answering the question, the judge responds firmly, issuing warnings and reasserting control of the courtroom. This isn't personal. It's procedural authority being enforced. Then comes the most human moment of the hearing. The tenant speaks. She states plainly that she never owed the money, that she had proof, and that despite this, eviction proceedings were initiated anyway. Her concern isn't just about today. It's about protection from future harm. She wants assurance that this cannot happen again. That fear is real, and for many tenants watching, it's deeply relatable. Being right on paper doesn't always stop the process from repeating itself. Legally, though, the court operates within limits. Judges don't negotiate future behavior. They resolve the case in front of them. And that's why the judge ultimately sets a future date instead of granting immediate dismissal, not because the tenant is wrong, but because the court needs a properly framed request that fits within its authority. The ruling here isn't a loss or a win. It's a pause. What we're seeing is a clash between systemic concerns and procedural reality. The tenant wants protection. The attorney wants accountability. The judge wants efficiency and clarity. When those goals don't align in presentation, friction is inevitable. So here's the bigger question for you watching. Should a court step in to prevent repeat billing practices when patterns are alleged? Or is that responsibility outside the courtroom? And if a tenant's balance is zero, should fear of future misconduct be enough to keep a case open? This hearing reminds us that the courtroom isn't just about who's right. It's about how arguments are presented, when they're raised, and whether they fit within the court's scope at that moment. Precision matters, timing matters, and above all, clarity matters. The next court date is now set, leaving the underlying concern unresolved, but officially on record. Whether that leads to meaningful protection or another round of litigation remains to be seen. And now we want to hear from you. Do you think the judge should have dismissed the case immediately? Or was setting another date the only responsible option? If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.